Good afternoon. This meeting will come to order. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am Mary Jiang, president of the Oakland Rotary Club No. 3. Founded in 1908, we are the third oldest club of some 36,000 clubs in over 200 countries around the world. We are a diverse community of 270 business, professional, and community leaders who come to serve our local and international communities through a commitment to service above self. Thank you for joining us this afternoon for our 5,423rd meeting in the California Ballroom and on Zoom. For over 114 years, we have welcomed Rotarians and guests to our club meetings. For those attending online, if you are visiting Rotarians or guests of Rotarian, please enter your name in the chat located on the bottom of the screen so that we can recognize you later. If you have comments or ask speakers questions, please use the chat box. We recommend you view today's meeting using speaker views located in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Because this week is President's Week, President-elect Tom Lamone will lead us in a Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh. Welcome, everyone. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
President-elect nominee Shannon Hackley will give us a thought for the day.
Thank you and welcome everybody. The thought for the day today begins with gratitude. For each of us today, there are a lot of people and a lot of faces we haven't seen in a long time. Welcome. To the past, I say thank you for the work you did as president of our club during your term. We appreciate you. We are alive with the mentoring advice, the inspiration, and the dreams that help make realities come true. So your work might have been done, but there are people here that are still inspired, and the work goes on. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon, for that inspiring remarks. Okay, would everyone join me in reciting the vision statement? All right. Together, we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. Okay. Well, guests are always welcome to visit our club. Today, I'm going to ask, will all visiting Rotarians and guests please rise, and we'll give everybody a round of applause. With our lengthy agenda today, we're not able to individually introduce guests or visiting Rotarians today. Okay, thank you. We hope you would join us in another future meetings and future club event. Nancy Williams, I understand you want to tell us about an upcoming DEI event.
Yes, welcome Rotarians and guests. You asked for it, so we're delivering for you. We're excited to invite you to Let's Talk About Race Part 2 with anti-racism activist Evan Moss. This is a deeper dive into the evening event taking place February 23rd from 5:30 to 7 o'clock at the Oakland Asian Cultural Center. That's on 9th Street. The event is free of charge and seats are limited, so we highly encourage you to register for the event today, and you can do so by completing the form that Celeste is currently passing out. They're mostly on the tables, so please register today. This evening event is going to replace next week's meeting, so please remember we do not have a lunch noon meeting next week in the California Ballroom. Evan Moss has been an open and authentic dialogue about race with many communities, and we invite you to get beyond the handshake through another meaningful dialogue within our Rotarian community and beyond. Our hope is that we can deepen our connections to each other, which will strengthen our impact in all the communities we serve. This is a joint presentation and is being put on by the Business Development Committee, DEI, Membership, and Speakers Committee. So all hands on deck. And for even more intimate and meaningful experience, we've arranged immediately following the session, there will be an informal for-purchase dinner with Evan Moss and his family at Sakura Bistro, which is a short walk from the event. It's $40 all in for tax and tip. See you next week.
Thank you, Nancy, for informing us about next week's event. And everybody, I think the registration forms on the desk, we can help you register. Today, I'd like to welcome past President Jack McAvoy to tell us about the Past President Program.
Thank you, Mary. Today we're going to celebrate 36 years of Oakland Rotary history and those who have led the club through a Supreme Court decision that changed the Rotary world forever, to 9/11, to the Loma Prieta quake, to the Oakland firestorm, and COVID. First, I'd like to have a moment of silence for those past presidents who have passed away since the beginning of our story, which starts in 1986. Milt Kegley, Dan Lazar, Eddie Snow, Tom Schmitz, Carl Stuckey, and Gene Zahas. Thank you. The future is bright with our current leadership under President Mary, President-elect Tom Lamone, born and raised in Oakland and an innate servant leader, and the dynamic energy and experience of President-elect Shannon Hackley. Now, to the story of 31 past presidents, led by President's Special Committee Chair, Michael Bruck. He will share memories of each past president. When he calls your name, please stand and remain standing until he's finished. And please do not applaud anything until the program is over, or we'll never finish. So here's Michael.
You applauded. Thank you, Jack. Jerry Wendt, 1986, 1987. Just 1 month after the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that Rotary was required to admit women, Jerry inducted 6 women as members of the Oakland Rotary Club. Jerry and past President Roger Huddlestone organized the very first Rotary Village Corps in the United States for residents of Lockwood Street in East Oakland. Rotary helped transform the neighborhood from one overtaken by drug dealers to a strong, productive community. The San Salvador Hospital Project received a $50,000 Rotary International grant, which was recognized by the El Salvador Congress. Ted Normart, 1987, 1988. Ted and past President Jack McAvoy chaired the Polio Plus campaign, which raised over $160,000, the most money ever raised for a single project as of that date. Ted's weekly meetings highlighted the Normart Derby, a major new member recruiting drive which grew club membership by 20%. Ted participated in hiring club executive director Lori Cloutier, who went on to serve as ED for 25 years. Ted served as chair of the annual Large Club Conference, which was hosted by Oakland Rotary. Club presidents and executive directors from the 30 largest Rotary clubs west of the Mississippi attended. The opening dinner took place at the Oakland Museum, and attendance at that Thursday's Oakland Rotary meeting was close to 200. Dale Chamblin, 1989, 1990. In October 1989, the Loma Prieta earthquake struck the Bay Area, causing significant damage. The club received donations and support from around the world, and Dale organized Rotary task forces to assist in the recovery efforts. Dale's President's Special Committee arranged for informative and entertaining meetings, including an appearance by Shlomo Ug, the 2,000-year-old Rotarian. Dale, accompanied by his teenage daughters, represented the club at the RI convention in Seoul, Korea. Chuck Schwinn, 1991, 1992. Chuck focused on youth as he carried out the RI theme of Look Beyond Yourself. He created the Education Support Committee, which organized the Principal for a Day program, where Rotarians spent a day at an Oakland school. Chuck also started the Education Awards Committee, which assisted Oakland school administrators in honoring parents and community volunteers with the Extra Mile Award. The club responded to the October 1991 Oakland Hills firestorm by donating $30,000 to support fire victims. The club hosted a business delegation from Oakland's sister city, Nahodka, Russia. And 9 Oakland Rotarians made a very long and very cold trip to Nahodka to present a free enterprise seminar. Roger Huddlestone, 1992, 1993. Roger, the club's youngest president at age 33, started the weekly 5 minutes of fellowship, which was used by members to interact with each other at the beginning of the Thursday meetings. Roger's year-long membership and engagement contest was known as Huddlestone's Happy Hawaiian Holidays, with members earning puka points and 3 members winning trips to Hawaii. Programs included the official naturalization ceremony for 10 Vietnamese immigrants. Roger received the most unusual president's gift at his demotion, 120 pounds of dog food and a beautiful Labrador retriever named Rotary. Jack McAvoy, 1993, 1994. Jack introduced the HOPE program, Help Oakland Pupils Excel, providing mentorship and college scholarships for underserved Oakland students. A total of $300,000 was raised to permanently fund the program, and over 90 students have been served since the program's inception. Jack also launched the Courageous Citizens Awards, an annual event to honor Oakland citizens who risked their lives to save others. Jack welcomed 68 new members, initiated free lunch for prospective members, established 5 minutes for membership to increase membership numbers, initiated attendance credit for attending committee meetings, and even managed to reduce membership dues. Rich Williams, 1995, 1996. Rich established the Brown Bag Lunch Program, where members meet at one of the businesses owned by Oakland Rotarians and learned about that particular industry, business, or organization. The club hosted students from sister cities Fukuoka, Japan, and Nahodka, Russia, and officially sponsored the new Nahodka Rotary Club. Oakland Rotary also sponsored the attendance at Sesame Street Live for over 300 Oakland elementary school students. Rich helped form an investment club for Oakland Rotary members, which continues to this day. Carla Betts, 1997, 1998. Carla served as the first woman president of Oakland Rotary with the theme of Rotary is not a spectator sport, you make the difference. Carla's primary focus was increasing Rotary business exchange. The Business Exchange Committee created the Rotary Yellow Pages, which provided an easy way to find business contact information in the club. Carla introduced the Rotarian of the Month Award and recognized the winner during the weekly meeting and with a full-page description in the Live Oak. She also introduced a new meeting feature, Rotarians' Passions, where members revealed their secret interests. Carla did everything with style. Her meetings included table centerpieces, balloons, songs, and music. Charlie Adams, 1999-2000. Charlie took office as the first African-American club president. His theme was Together We Can, which reflected his vision of expanding the reach of Oakland Rotary by working with other community organizations. Charlie arranged numerous donations to support individuals and organizations, including an all-day fraud-fighting seminar for 200 seniors, funding the Build a Skate Park for Oakland youth, a donation to It's Real Baby, a program which used computerized dolls to educate students on caregiving, and funding to help 17 teenage girls replace personal belongings destroyed in a residential building fire. The club celebrated Martin Luther King Jr. Day by marching around the California Ballroom and singing We Shall Overcome. And finally, the club bid farewell to the 20th century at the Millennium Ball. Sid Saperstein, 2000-2001. Sid was one of the most innovative Oakland Rotary presidents. Every person who shook hands with the weekly secret handshaker was entered into a raffle for a bottle of wine. The Red Dot program was designed to increase meeting attendance. If you discovered a red dot under your cup or chair or saucer, you won a prize. Dues payment by credit or debit card, the electronic live oak, the Rotary Endowment Tree with leaves representing donations to ORE or the Rotary International Foundation, a salad bar, and the $25 Little Dinger were introduced during Sid's year. Inspired by District Governor Carl Stuckey, the club raised $87,000 for the Rotary Foundation and created 58 new Paul Harris Fellows and 34 new multiple fellows. Ken Richardson, 2001-2002. Ken started with a record-setting attendance of 160 at his inauguration. Ken introduced meeting sponsorships, which continue to this day, and the end-of-the-year Rotary Talent Show, complete with singing, dancing, and comedy, and not to mention the infamous Testosterone singing group. The very first Dan Lassar Good Job Award was awarded to none other than past President Dan Lassar at what turned out to be Dan's last Rotary meeting. Visiting San Francisco Rotarians were served with a complaint alleging that San Francisco Rotary stole Oakland's true status as number 2, club number 2. The all-Oakland jury entered a verdict in favor of Oakland Rotary, but Ken relented and restored the club number 2 title to San Francisco. David Douglas, 2002-2003. With the theme of getting down to business, David encouraged members to do business with one another and get down to the business of service through the club's committees. David established the new Business Networking Committee, the Outreach Committee to recruit new members from groups that were underrepresented in the club, and the New Member Welcoming Committee. Instead of the blue badge just appearing in the badge rack, David exchanged the red new member badge for the permanent blue badge right here on stage. The evening committee fair introduced members and guests to club committee projects. The club funded the new Oakland Zoo lemur exhibit in the Children's Zoo, and David's presidential travel included the Rotary International Convention in Barcelona and the large club conference in Honolulu. Not bad. Marla Seligman, 2003-2004. The High Adventure Committee made its debut during Marlowe's year with kayaking in the Oakland estuary, deep sea fishing near the Farallon Islands, and flying trapeze lessons. This committee was featured in the Rotarian magazine. In order to generate needed funds for the Cerrone Lena Scholarship Committee, Marlowe launched the Win a Mercedes contest with a total of $50,000 in raffle tickets being sold. The winner of the 2004 Mercedes was Mary Jiang, who still has that car. As a gift to every speaker, the club donated funds to the Children's Food Basket, an Oakland nonprofit that distributed healthy box meals on Fridays to school kids who didn't always have enough food for the weekends. John Lutenacre, 2005, 2006. Cumulative donations to the Rotary Foundation reached $1 million during John's year. Community service projects included food distribution, family reading night at Lakeview Elementary School, landscaping at Lakeview and Oakland Technical High Schools, and the relocation of over 20 Hurricane Katrina victims to the city of Oakland. Club members volunteered in Afghanistan, Chile, Sri Lanka, Cambodia, El Salvador, Guatemala, and China. Every new member sponsor received a special illustration by Oakland Rotarian and syndicated cartoonist of We Pals fame, Maury Turner. David Stein, 2006, 2007. Oakland native David Stein introduced a new video program called My Word, which featured members talking about why they joined the club and what they loved about Rotary. The Community Service Committee conducted an e-waste recycling event and organized the delivery of used furniture from local hotels to senior citizens. The House Building Committee started an architectural design contest for Oakland Tech students. A club centennial fundraising campaign for ORE eventually raised $1.2 million. David sought to diversify the membership by holding brainstorming sessions throughout the year to identify potential members of diverse cultures and ages. David beat past President Jack McAvoy's new member record by bringing in 71 new members. Iris Brody Lopez, 2007, 2008. Iris, the third woman president in Oakland Rotary history, took office with the theme of Get a Job at Rotary. Iris's job at Rotary was to engage the many new members and ended the year with 362 Oakland Rotarians. The Youth and Education Committee created the new Oakland Reads program, which provided 3 books to every 3rd grader in the Oakland Public Schools, with classroom visits from members to distribute the books and to read to the students. The club sponsored a new Interact Club at Oakland Technical High School, which continues to this day. Oakland Rotary, along with other clubs approaching their centennial years, were honored at the Rotary International Convention in Los Angeles at a very special dinner, and the large Oakland Convention contingent enjoyed a special gathering at Iris's parents' home in Los Angeles. Ed Jelen, 2008, 2009. Ed, the 100th Oakland Rotary president, was inaugurated in the presence of 3 past Rotary International presidents and 17 former District 5170 district governors. The club's centennial was celebrated with Rotary billboards, a visit from RI President D.K. Lee for a tour of Oakland Rotary projects, a meeting with the San Francisco, Berkeley, and Alameda clubs to commemorate the first intercity meeting in Rotary history, and a gala dinner at the Claremont Hotel. Ed secured numerous awards, including a presidential citation from the Rotary International President, a Rotary Zone Literacy Award, a Rotary International Health and Hunger Award, the Oakland School District Best Cooperative Projects Award, the Oakland League of Women Voters Making Democracy Work Award, among many others. Mary Rutzer, 2009, 2010. The first President Mary focused on service to the community during the 2008-2009 financial crisis. The We Care Committee was expanded and reached out to Rotarians who needed support. Mary introduced the Origins program, where members presented the varied origins of their families. She started the practice of providing biographical information about deceased members in the place of a moment of silence. And Mary honored each weekly speaker by purchasing art supplies for the school program at Children's Hospital, conducted 4 bridge dinners where new members learned about club activities and service opportunities, and held the Uptown Fine Wine and Dream Cars fundraiser. John Gressley, 2010-2011. John began the practice of thanking every guest speaker with a donation in his or her honor to the Rotary Foundation's End Polio Now campaign. Oakland Rotary supported the Dreamcatcher program to shelter homeless youth in Alameda County, the first global grant for an Oakland project with additional funding from the Sao Paulo Brazil Club. The house building project relationship among Peralta College, the City of Oakland, and the Oakland Rotary Club was formalized with a written agreement. The club raised and forwarded $42,500 to our sister club in Fukuoka, Japan, for earthquake and tsunami relief. John significantly upgraded the club's computer infrastructure and acquired software that allowed the ED to perform critical Rotary work at home in her jammies. Lorna Padilla Marcus, 2011-2012. The Enterprise Institute celebrated its 30th year with 80 high school juniors learning business skills in the Santa Cruz Mountains. The Rotary at a Rosenblum auction and wine tasting event raised over $32,000. The number of members contributing to the Oakland Rotary Endowment tripled during the annual ORE month. The entrepreneurial think tank event, where members discussed the secrets of success in business, was a big hit. The club funded a 2-day conference on Agent Orange and the legacy of war at UC Berkeley, and members launched the Year of the Dragon with Ben Fong Torres and Sherry Hu at the legendary Palace Restaurant. Robert Kidd, 2012-2013. The club supported a public presentation of the anti-violence play Cops and Robbers and a post-play panel discussion, sent a local student to Fukuoka, Japan, where he cracked jokes in Japanese and received a job offer at the Fukuoka Rotary Club. Originated a $77,000 medical grant to provide 20 children with congenital heart surgery in San Salvador. Robert institutionalized the weekly meetings of the club president, president-elect, and executive director, which continue to this day, and enhanced the process for joining the club with getting to know you interviews by the president, and president-elect. The spring new member party at Ken and Carla Betts' home featured a fully closed swim in the Betts pool by past president Tom Schmitz to raise funds for ORE. Now, please welcome Jack McAvoy, who will introduce the rest of our distinguished past presidents.
Well, he can't do his own. Michael Bruck, 2013-14. Michael instituted committee business plans and formed club task forces on multiple fronts, including facilities, communications, and executive search. The Rotary on the Lake membership recruitment event was attended by 100 members and 50 prospective members. 16 members attended the Uniendo America Project Fair in Antigua, Guatemala. Fun at the Thursday meetings included a harvest festival, a pumpkin carving contest, a holiday cookie exchange, a spelling bee, and the secret lives of Rotarians. The club bid farewell to longtime executive director Lori Coutier at a meeting where 145 were in attendance and more than 80 bell ringers to acknowledge her service to the club. John Protopappas, 2014-15. The club funded a $30,000 arts integration program for transitional kindergarten teachers, provided technology resources and training to Girls Inc., Oakland Youth Chorus, Hack the Hood, and Alternatives in Action High School. John kicked off the Rotary Endowment fundraising campaign with a lively party at the Uptown Body and Fender, featuring Oakland Rotary musicians and a special guest vocalist, John Protopappas. The club raised funds at the red carpet premiere event at the Paramount Theater. John's year-end goal of 350 total members was achieved by welcoming 72 new members, with the final 7 being inducted at his last meeting, which beat David Stein by 1. Linda Chu, 2015-16. The club hosted a summer financial literacy seminar for scholarship recipients and the Enterprise Institute participants. Linda expanded the club's global reach by sending Oakland Rotarians to 2 international project fairs, Uniendo America in Honduras and the first Colombia Project Fair with a delegation of 18 in attendance. The club adopted the name Carl Stuckey World Community Service Committee to honor past president and past district governor Carl Stuckey. Support for the Oakland Transitional Kindergartens grew to 1,000 students in 45 different classrooms. 11 Oakland Rotarians and friends scaled Mount Whitney in a one-day, 22-mile round-trip hike with the placement of the Oakland Rotary banner at its peak. Linda Bossenecker, 2016-17. Linda celebrated the 30th anniversary of Women in Rotary by honoring Dr. Sylvia Whitlock, the first woman Rotary president, and recognizing Oakland Rotary's first female members. The club hosted a meeting at the Oakland City Hall featuring 3 of Oakland's leaders, Mayor Schaaf, City Manager Sabrina Landreth, and Police Chief Ann Kirkpatrick. The 3-year strategic plan and a total update of the club website were completed. The Cerrone Lena Scholarship Committee started its collaboration with the East Bay Community College Fund and the Oakland Promise. Members experienced the world of San Quentin Prison through a 4-hour tour by the prison's warden. Linda had fun and raised money at the meetings with the famous Bossenecker Bucks at contests at Thursday meetings. Sean Marks, 2017-2018. Sean's first meeting featured guest Nell Newman, daughter of Paul Newman, who, like Sean, was a pioneer in building businesses that included service as part of their passion. 22 of the 54 new members inducted during Sean's year were under the age of 45. New Rotaract clubs at Mills College and Laney College were launched. The Cerrone Lena Scholarship Committee celebrated its 55th anniversary by increasing the number of scholarships from 7 to 10. 10 Oakland Rotarians and 3 spouses traveled to Medellin, Colombia to do hands-on service, inspect potential new sites, and even club for some salsa dancing. The Rising Star Awards program recognized 3 community leaders who positively impacted lives in Oakland. Gudrun Dibdahl, 2018-2019. Gudrun presided over a year of local and international accomplishments. The HOPE program celebrated its 25th year by mentoring 10 middle and high school students and congratulating 2 graduating seniors with $10,000 scholarships. Speakers included the Oakland Symphony conductor Michael Morgan and California Supreme Court Chief Justice. The Gala at the Meadow fundraiser at Mills College raised $80,000 with 330 members and guests in attendance. And who could forget the Heights with President Gudrun, Tilden, Redwood Parks, Tamalpais, and Lake Chabot. Peter Sherris, 2019-2020. Peter's year started with energy and enthusiasm, scheduling Thursday events instead of lunch meetings, including a Lake Temescal picnic, a Fairyland cocktail party, and meetings with the Lake Merritt Breakfast Club. The club organized the first District 5170 Business Expo, and then COVID hit, and the world changed. What do we do now? Many of us are homebound, can't leave our houses. Rotary, what can Rotary do? With his training as a physician, degree in public health, and technology expertise, Peter was the perfect leader for the challenges that faced the club. Not only did the club survive, it continued its support of many causes in Oakland and abroad. All meetings became virtual, including a joint meeting with the first 5 Rotary clubs. The virtual fundraising event raised $90,000. Since some committees could not spend all of their budgeted funds, many local organizations in Oakland received COVID-19 related funding. Cess Butner, 2020-2021, faced an entire year of virtual meetings due to the pandemic. SES arranged for compelling speakers and meetings that kept members engaged. The club launched the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, supported the Rotary Peace Mural in Jack London Square, and adopted a 3-year strategic plan. SES increased member giving to the Rotary Foundation from 35%, it's a normal number that gave, to over 90%, and raised $166,000. The club participated in the first 5 Rotary Club's Day of Service by distributing personal hygiene kits to homeless residents. President SES was a recipient of the District Richard D. King Award given to the individual who makes the greatest personal commitment to the programs of the Rotary Foundation. The club said goodbye to Executive Director Pat Williams, she's a member, not completely goodbye, and welcomed Executive Administrator Jesse Bowder. Dudley Thompson, 2021-2022. Even with COVID-related challenges that continued during Dudley's year, the club carried on with its meetings and service to the community and world. Dudley established the Environment Committee to support Rotary International's new 7th area of focus, protecting the environment. 119 members completed a survey developed by the DEI Committee. The Cerrone Lena Scholarship Committee was rebranded as Oakland Rotary Scholarship Committee to better reflect its mission. Giving to the Rotary Foundation increased to $171,000, which resulted in Oakland Rotary soaring to number 11 worldwide in giving to the foundation. The annual gala raised $121,000 for the Oakland Rotary Endowment. Please join me in a warm thank you to all of those who have helped create the modern history of Oakland Rotary.
Wow, wasn't that an impressive presentation on the history of the Oakland Rotary Club through the eyes of its past president and their accomplishment? I wish to note that the first president in 1997 was Carla Betts, and I'm the 9th woman president. And I want to emphasize that Oakland Rotary continues its commitment to include and develop leadership that reflects the city of Oakland's community. At this time, would anybody like to do special recognition or honor? Okay, Lorna Padilla, Marcus, rings the bell.
On behalf of all those who did all the hard work of organizing today, hurting past presidents is not easy. I want to ring the bell 5 times.
5 times. 2, 3, 4, 5. Anna Maria Jones?
While I've only been part of the club since David Stein's time, I am just so charmed by seeing all of our past presidents together. I'd like to ring the bell. Thank you.
Anna Maria, ring the bell.
John Holmgren, I'm ringing the bell for the past presidents. Thank you for your service.
John Holmgren.
And I'd like to thank Michael Bruck and Jack for giving me some ideas for next year. So I ring the bell. Thank you.
Tom Limon.
President Mary, I want to acknowledge one of our past presidents because it's his birthday today, and I want to ring the bell in his honor, Charlie Adams.
Yeah! Okay.
Christian, no affiliation, so someone needs to come and collect for me. On behalf of all of the presidents who are dear friends and unknown, thank you. But in particular, Dudley, I'd like to ring the bell.
Christian.
Thank you.
Christian, okay.
My name is Rick Draper. Of all of them, I should ring the bell for every one of them, but I'm not that deep pockets. But I would like to honor Dale Chamlin, the president when I came in, and it's good to see Chuck Schwinn again.
Rick Draper rings the bell.
Madam President, I stand on the shoulders of giants. I'd like to ring the bell, and especially for 3 presidents who have been dear to me, Gudrun, John, and Robert. Thank you.
And your name, please?
Patricia Wells.
Patricia Wells rings the bell.
Hi, Ruth Straub. I think we had a second bell over here that we missed. For Rick Draper, I think had 2. We only heard 1.
Okay, Rick Draper has 2, so I have a grand one already. Second one for Rick.
And then I'd like to ring the bell in honor of Ted Normart, who was very, very kind to me when I was just beginning my career. I had no idea he'd be a Rotarian or that I'd get to see him again today. Thank you, Ted.
Ruth Strove rings the bell. Lois, someone gives her a mic.
I'd like to ring the bell for the past presidents. I don't have deep pockets either, so we're just doing one ring here. But in particular, Mr. Seth Butner, who's my friend, and he was the president when I joined.
Lois Corin.
Me? All right, so I want to second whoever said good job to Brooke and McAvoy. You guys, freaking awesome. I ring a bell to all the presidents, including those 2. That's 1 for me.
Jason Weiseman.
And I'd like to ring the bell twice. 1 for our departed president friends. That always just knocks me out thinking about those men that are no longer with us. And for all of you, thank you so much for coming today and all the work you've done.
Shannon Hackley.
Thank you, President Mary. I would like to ring the bell for all the past presidents, and in particular thank Robert Kidd for recruiting me into the club.
Will Hobbs.
Madam President, Keith Uriarte would like to ring the bell for all the past presidents and equally important for the future of Oakland Rotary.
Keith Uriarte.
So, President Mary, we have some bell ringers online. Joining us today, we have Iris Brody Lopez and Sid Saperstein as past presidents. Stephanie Cosenza rings the bell once for all the past presidents. Lori Cloutier rings the bell for the amazing presidents I had the pleasure of working with. Best job ever. Mike Cloutier, he rings the bell once. And Pam Clausen rings the bell to all our wonderful past presidents. And one last one, Sid Saperstein, 2 bell ringers for me, please.
Okay, so we got Sid Saperstein 2, and I heard Stephanie Cosenza. I had heard Lori Coutier, and you want to fill some more names? Mike Coutier, yeah. Pam Clausen. Sid Saperstein twice. I think I rang him twice already. Okay, good. Anyone else?
Okay. My name's Pat Williams. I was the executive director for nearly 7 years. And I want to ring the bell for all the presidents that I worked with who were amazing. I reiterate what Lori said, best job ever. And also just amazed to hear about all the achievements of the presidents that preceded all of you. Thanks.
Pat Williams?
Yes, Rick Baskin. I just wanted to say I'm honored to be associated with all of these presidents in this club, and it's a really important thing that we're doing. And I'd like to thank all the presidents, and especially my friend Jerry Wendt, who helped me become a Paul Harris Fellow. Thanks, Jerry.
All right, Rick Baskin?
I'd like to ring the bell and thank you for your service.
And that's David Kidney. Excuse me.
Joe Goralka, I'd like to ring the bell in honor of all the past presidents, so many hardworking individuals and friends. And I would like to acknowledge Linda Chu. You can blame her for bringing me in the club.
Joe Goralka.
I'd like to acknowledge John Pappas for bringing me into the club and all my good friends like David Stein, and just a beautiful of what I believe Oakland is about the community service.
And your name?
Marcus Clark.
Marcus Clark.
Hi, I'm Wesley Palmquist. I'd like to ring the bell for all the First Ladies who supported the presidents in the past. And I would like to ring the bell for the first gentleman and say that I'm looking forward to being a first gentleman too here soon. And I do mean that, looking forward to that and supporting Shannon and supporting this club.
That's Wesley, right? Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Can someone give her a mic?
Teresa Wyand, I'd like to ring the bell twice, once for all the past presidents, and one for Preston Pinkney for being the recipient of the Jefferson Award.
Okay, Teresa Wyand, 2 bell ringer.
Madam President, I'd like to ring the bell to say thank you to all the past presidents, and in particular, the one that I came in under, which is Peter Sherris.
Christine Watson. Seth.
Jerry Wynn. I remember when I first came into the club, Jerry, actually, Chuck Schwinn was president at the time, but Jerry Wynn was the man who recruited me to get into Rotary, and I haven't ever regretted it since then. Rick liked to ring the bell. Since Lorna did it for 5 times, I'll ring the bell 5 times.
All right, Seth Button would match Lorna 5 times. Okay. Birthday boy, okay. Mike, Charlie Adam.
Well, no man stands alone, and I want to ring the bell for my support with my best friend, First Lady Reforma Adams.
All right, Charlie Adam for his wife. Daniel?
I want to thank all the great men and women who serve on this club. Thank you.
Okay, Daniel Chang. All right, and I guess I get the last word since I'm president. I'd like to ring the bell also, coming in under Ken Richardson's year, and he and I have been working and volunteering at Laney College Food Distribution. I ring the bell for all the past president and Ken Richardson. All right, at this time, I'd like to welcome Cedric Titus, who will introduce today's speaker.
Hello, Rotary! Woohoo! I want to introduce our speaker today, and if you go to Mr. Google, you can get all of the Mr. Google stuff, but I wanted to tell you the stuff that's not on Google. I met this young man when he was 9 years old. He was playing at Babe Ruth baseball with my son, never knowing he would grow up to be such a successful person. He went to Arts Magnet Academy in Oakland. He went to Claremont Middle School in Oakland, and then he went to Marin Academy, so he commuted every day across the bridge to Marin Academy, and ended up at Princeton University with a Bill Gates scholarship. And as Bill Gates' website says, early opportunities change lives. And that's what Brandon Nicholson's all about. He's going to talk about his organization, which is called Hidden Genius, where people end up with opportunities that they wouldn't have had before. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my friend, Brandon Nicholson.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Cedric. Yes, I'd love to start off with the video, if we're able.
Anyone else who wants to add anything? Maybe you've got questions to ask our visitors. I know you are very curious about the US.
No, yeah, my question is based on I see some of your shirts, the Hidden Genius Project. What is it about?
The Hidden Genius Project trains and mentors Black male youth in technology creation, entrepreneurship, and leadership skills to transform our lives and communities. So it's just about empowering young people through technology and entrepreneurship.
You're told that, oh, you're going to be a great athlete, oh, you're going to be a great rapper, but no one ever really aspires to be a great engineer.
But at a higher level, what we're hoping to do is train the next wave of black male leadership.
Anyone who's extremely driven and willing to put in that work, I think they've got a great shot.
We have children that come from all sorts of social, economic, and educational backgrounds.
Based off the trauma I've experienced.
Anyone else who wants to add anything, or maybe you've got questions to ask our visitors. I know you are very curious about the US.
No, yeah, my question is based on I see some of your shirts, the Hidden Genius Project. What is it about?
The Hidden Genius Project trains and mentors black male youth in technology creation, entrepreneurship, and leadership skills to transform our lives and communities. So it's just about empowering young people through technology and entrepreneurship.
You're told that, oh, you're going to be a great athlete, oh, you're going to be a great rapper, but no one ever really aspires to be a great engineer.
But at a higher level, what we're hoping to do is train the next wave of black male leadership.
Anyone who's extremely driven and willing to put in that work, I think they've got a great shot.
We have children that come from all sorts of social, economic, and educational backgrounds.
Based off the trauma I've experienced in my life. You gotta keep it pushing, the world don't stop for you.
When I first started the program, you walked in and it was just like, it was pretty awkward.
I don't code, like I'm not even with the technology all like that.
I may be extra smart, but I don't know nothing about surviving on the streets of Oakland.
There's definitely not a lot of programs that look out for you as a black man.
Today we are at the San Francisco airport. I'm here with my brothers. We're about to head off to London.
We do get them questions like, what is this? Is this a basketball team?
We're really excited just to see how the young men we've been working with are going to be able to be leaders today.
You know how to connect these right here?
Yeah.
We don't got hours, so we gotta break it down.
First, you're just gonna open up speed drums. We got young folks teaching other young folks, scaling our mission and expanding our program.
What's about to happen is you are getting some inside footage of Tech Slam UK.
It's enormously important for youth anywhere to see our young black men as leaders. We have some problems, but
they're not together. Y'all two together and y'all two together.
The problems never got all the way to us because we knew we could work around it.
We out here in South Africa, Johannesburg, just touched down.
I spent my 21st birthday out here.
21.
I've known these brothers since I was 13 years old and we're flying across the world.
There's so many commonalities between the youth in Africa and the youth in the United States. The excitement on the kids' faces is amazing.
They have the power to affect their communities and bring about change.
And that's what we're raising and training these young men to be problem solvers.
What an awesome privilege to be alive at the same time as you guys. Thank you for investing in the lives of our young people.
We have the tools at our hands to really start working towards liberation for people of color internationally. It just inspired me, and I know that's what I'm gonna die fighting for.
Wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all chains still binding me. Yeah.
You're on mute. Yo, what's good, brothers? How's it going? It's been a minute since South Africa London trip. When should we start?
Incredibly gifted. Yeah. You can't beat me with a baseball bat. I'm from a place where you better be different. I grew up on the west side, west side. I'm just trying to live my best life. Damn right, till the kids pull up. West side, west side, west side. Till the kids pull up.
And I'm out. Is that cool? All right, let me know. Am I still going? Because I'm tapped in. I'm from the east.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Good afternoon. Thank you again to Cedric for the introduction. Thank you to the Rotary Club for inviting me and allowing me to be here today. To share what we do and explain what we do, it's much better to allow our young people to tell you themselves than have me try and bore you for the next few minutes, but ultimately that's who we are. Almost there. Here we go. Okay. So as you heard, we're the Hidden Genius Project, and we've been in operation since 2012, established here in Oakland, California, now operating in Oakland, Richmond, Los Angeles, Detroit, and launching in Chicago and Atlanta this year. And we're extremely proud of our organization, but most certainly our young people, our young men in particular. And speaking about the trailer you saw in the theme, you might have seen the title briefly. It was Hidden in Plain Sight, and I think in many ways that captures who we are and what we do and how we approach our world and our community. Most importantly, we know there's no shortage of challenges in the world, in our communities, but we view everything we do, including what you saw there in that video, from an assets-based framework, all in terms of what our young people are capable of achieving, what they have the power and potential to secure and build for themselves, their families, but also for their communities. In the case of these young men you saw, who we took to London and South Africa, in many instances, those were young people. We were able to secure their first ever passport and take them overseas for the first time in their lives. But you saw the young people they were meeting, especially in London, were of different backgrounds, gender identities, racial, ethnic identities. But these are all young people who we had met, the majority of whom in that group actually had come from Oakland, California, of course. And we'd spent our years, dating back to 2012, 2013 in some cases, pouring into those young men. And then you saw they were the ones leading. They were the ones facilitating programming. They were the ones inspiring young people literally across the world. And so in that respect, it truly symbolizes and manifests the idea that a rising tide lifts all boats. And so for us, we recognize we can pour a lot of our energy, nearly all of our energy as the adult staff at the Hidden Genius Project, into these black boys and young men we serve directly. And then in turn, they pay it forward to their communities. And we all benefit either directly through their actual service, which you saw, or of course the byproducts that come along with having a stronger core and network of leaders in Oakland, Richmond, and across the country, if not the world. And so, it's so important for us when we think about our opportunities to mentor, and obviously the Rotary having such a great tradition of service and of support and philanthropy, I think never to forget how much potential and how much possibility there are among our communities, among our young people, even at times of great challenge. And certainly I'm an example of someone who, born and raised in Oakland, California, had a great deal of support in my life, but needed every bit of it. Cedric was actually one of my first baseball coaches, as you mentioned, at Oakland, Babe Ruth, fondly known as the coach who didn't yell as much, so that was a great thing. But I think even taking me throughout my childhood, even to come to present day, in September of 2021, the Hidden Genius Project was able to acquire a national headquarters and an office building here in downtown Oakland, also to host and house our Oakland site, but also to house what's now 8 additional community-based organizations operating in and around Oakland. Thank you. And what I would say about that is, oddly enough, the people, so many of the people very much responsible for that journey, including those outside of our team, outside of our board and our staff, a few are in this room, and starting with Will Thomas at Newmark, who was able to connect us with his team to try and identify what we thought would be a site to lease. But then we ran into Seth Butner and the Sestra Butner Family Foundation, who said leasing is for the birds. Once you acquire a space that can host organizations and create more stability for our organization, which sounded like an awful idea, but you know, he was something he was willing to support. But to get us home, you know, the rest of the way, of course, Dale Marie Golden with Bridge Bankers here, and Dale Marie and Bridge were willing to work with us. And of course, I'd actually be remiss because none of it happens, of course, if we don't encounter Will Hobbs and Community Bank of the Bay, who put us in their you know, their I guess we call that your old work, right? 17th and Broadway, and donated that space just as they were about to sell and move on to Grand Avenue. And without Community Bank of the Bay, you know, we'd be actually nowhere. So saying that to say, you know, none of us does anything alone. It takes a tremendous network, right? And that's what we're teaching our young people every day. And if people looked at, even from an organizational standpoint, ragtag bunch of, you know, early to mid-career professionals with no idea what they're doing, no budget, infrastructure, and no business actually being around people's children, right? That was 11 years ago. So if you look at us as hidden geniuses in our own right from an organizational standpoint, for us to be where we are today, very much take that same level of belief. So why not afford that belief and that investment in our young people? Because there's no shortage of challenges and risks that we presented as what would be the eventual founders of the Hidden Genius Project. And so, you know, understanding that even those founders who Will knows well, you know, none of us got to spend time, travel together, learn together, build together. But these young men, as you can see, are, you know, quite dangerous in that they get to spend all this time and build, innovate, ideate, and they're facilitating programming at the Head Royce Heads Up program, at the West Oakland Youth Center, at East Oakland Youth Development Center. They're in West Detroit and the south side of Chicago and South Central LA, and they're inspiring young people who are just like them, coming behind them and look up to them. And it's, you know, a very proud thing for us, much like Rotary is proud to be the second club in the history, we're in Rotary. We're extremely proud to be the first Hidden Genius Project site, obviously here in Oakland. And, you know, we've got an opportunity now to see something that's reached, you know, nearly 10,000 young people worldwide over the past decade. So I will say, you know, to you all, and recognizing we're a bit short on time, you can certainly find out more about what we do on our website, hiddengeniusproject.org. You may also follow our social channels. We've got a tremendous newsletter. Cess will tell you, of course, I know he reads every single one, word for word. But Cess will tell you, you know, we've got a Genius of the Month story that we share every month since May of 2017 without duplication. We're telling you a story about one of our young men who's, you know, been resilient, been, you know, ambitious, developed a kind and warm heart, and has manifested as a leader. And as you can remember, it's now February of 2023. So that means we've got, you know, 6 or so dozen young people's stories that we've been able to tell over that period. And there's dozens more to come. So we're extremely proud. And so I would say thank you all certainly for allowing us to share, because as we continue to build, we continue to need our community support, both in Oakland and beyond. But we certainly thank you all for helping us get to this point. And we just hope that you'll certainly keep in mind that, you know, again, genius may be hidden in plain sight at any point in time, and that we continue to look at our young people, you know, for who they are and what they could be, and not what they're not. The very last thing I'll leave you with, just because I meant to mention it, is, you know, one point about mentorship, because so many of you I know are supporting young people, and I'll just share, you know, for us it's such a great challenge to mentor, not because there's something wrong with the children, though they're adolescent boys and I prefer to keep my distance if I can, but I love them and I'll do anything for them. That said, what makes it so difficult is because we as adults have had tremendous experience, tremendous, you know, journeys, gained a great deal of wisdom, and yet this world is only changing faster every single day. And so, you know, when I graduated high school in 2001, one could have been forgiven. Perhaps one of you in this club might have advised me, you know, Brandon, the wave of the future is the Blu-ray DVD player. I think you should go to Princeton University, study material science and engineering, and design the next best DVD player. And I would have happily taken your advice, because why not? You know, maybe I could get a job at Sony or JVC or Hitachi or other respected brands at the time, right? And perhaps they would have put me on the cover of DVD Manufacturers Weekly, and perhaps you all would have invited me to become the youngest member of Oakland Rotary at the ripe age of 23. It's the leading designer of DVD players. And within 4 years, you probably would have asked me to leave, you know, because by then I wouldn't have been able to pay my dues, right? By 2010, Netflix will have taken over completely. Streaming is here, and I couldn't pay you to take a DVD player out of here today, right? So we sometimes give our best advice or have the best intentions, and for our young people, we want them to do what we envision for them, but sometimes we can't see far enough, right? You all could have been, again, forgiven for that. And so, again, as we think about how we encounter and engage young people, we have to certainly be able to feel comfortable and confident to offer our wisdom, but leave some space for what lies ahead that none of us truly knows. And so that's something we're trying to learn every day, and something that I'm proud to share. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you all again soon. All right, thank you. And I believe Madam President says we have time for 2 questions. That's all right, thank you, thank you. 2. Sure. This one works. No, it's not quite.
Thank you so much for speaking to Rotary today. I have 2 brief questions. The first is, having been in your organization for 11 years, you now have a generation of young men who are now young adults and starting their own careers. And if you want to briefly touch on some of what they're doing, I know you mentioned they're giving back and mentoring. The second part is, how do you recruit the students that are in your program?
Those are 2 phenomenal questions. Thank you so much, and thank you for your service as well. So firstly, we have some of our eldest alumni, our first alumni, are reaching age 23, 24, and so many of them now are fortunately working in the field, including in the technology space. So our first ever cohort in 2012 was only 5 young men. The second in 2013, these are both of our Community Bank at the Bay cohorts, well, that was 10 young men, right? And so we're still tracking with them. I saw one of them, he came to the office yesterday. He's working in cybersecurity and information technology. And so we've been able to connect a number with employment. We stay in touch with about 12 of the 15, you know, all had graduated high school, et cetera. What we do know is all of our alumni since 2012, we're at about a 98% plus high school graduation rate, 90% plus post-secondary education enrollment. And we continue to get a critical mass of young people we're connecting with jobs. We currently employ 6 of our alumni full-time as salaried employees, 5 of whom are educators teaching, again, full-time. And then in terms of how people find us, well, we're actually in the middle of an application process for our next cohorts that launch this summer. That will end on President's Day, and so that's online, but we work with local community partners. We've had alumni and staff making presentations at local high schools and middle schools all month, and word of mouth, word of mom, as we say, and just trying to be effective. So thank you for your questions. We appreciate it.
Hi. Thank you for presenting today. Could you talk a little bit about your plans for expansion outside Oakland? I understand, I think Chicago's in one location.
Sure. And I'll make sure it's a very brief response. We're currently in 6 cities: Oakland, Richmond, Los Angeles, Detroit, launching Atlanta, Chicago as we speak. And for us, you know, we'll always be deeply invested in Oakland, even as we launched in Los Angeles 2020, middle of the pandemic. In the last 2 years, we doubled the number of young people we served in Oakland as a, you know, just a commitment to never forgetting from whence we came. We want to make sure we can reach as many young people as sustainably as possible, so that means we may not have brick and mortar sites everywhere we go. So we're doing things like designing curriculum platforms and software tools that can help build capacity for other local organizations to serve the young people in their communities. But we want to be wherever young people have potential and need, which seems to be a lot of places. So I've got quite a long list that we don't have enough time for me to read off. But if you ever want to connect, I'm more than happy to. But within the next 2 to 3 years, we anticipate being in upwards of 10 sites. And so we're at 6, and we hope to not blow it so we can keep going and keep having impact. So, thank you.
All right. Well, Brandon, thank you for that awesome and fascinating presentation. Education is my area of focus for this year, and the Rotary Club of Oakland is proud to partner with Oakland Promise to offer 8 $10,000 scholarship annually along with mentorship. We are proud to support many as the first in their family to attend college, such as you do with your students. In recognition of your presentation today, Oakland Rotary will make a donation in your name to the Oakland Promise to support its kindergarten to college programs for every child in our city. Thank you. Also, I just want to mention for those who are not aware, when we had the bell ringer earlier, and a bell ringer is $100 tax deductible, and this is tax season, so for next year, to the Oakland Rotary Endowment. And so we welcome all your donation. All right, I also want to, we're gonna go maybe a little bit over today. It's a packed program, so if you forgive me, let us go over a few minutes today. But I also like to recognize, I'm not sure he's in the audience today, but Rotarian Preston Pinckney, I think Teresa rang a bell for him. He became the recipient of the 2023 Jefferson Award. And this award, yes. This award was created in 1972 by the American Institute for Public Service, and is the country's longest standing and most prestigious organization dedicated to achieving and celebrating public service. The Jefferson Award are given both at the local and national level. The local winners are ordinary people, like you, who do extraordinary things without expectation of recognition. Pinckney is awarded for his service, contribution, and leadership as the San Francisco Bay Area Youth Program Director in the areas of youth development related to golf, music, arts, education, and financial literacy. So let's give him another round of applause. All right, so at this point, I'd like to thank Tom Lamone for the Pledge of Allegiance, Sharon Hackley for the Thought for the Day, Nancy Williams for announcing the Evan Moss DEI event, Jack McAvoy and Michael Bruck for organizing the Past President program, Cedric Tyrus for introducing the speaker, Brandon Nicholson for the inspiring presentation, and the production team for managing the meeting. Before you leave, please remember again to bust your lunch trash and put it away in the garbage and recycle bin at the back of the room. Now, next week, in celebration of Black History Month, we will hold an off-site meeting with Evan Moss at the Oakland Asian Culture Center in Oakland, Chinatown, 388 9th Street, second floor, from 5:30 to 7 p.m. There's a dinner option for $40. Please register online. There are registration forms in each table. Celeste will collect from the table. And don't come to the ballroom next week. So, share, which means thank you, everyone. This meeting is adjourned.